Hello, everyone. Good morning. It is January 19th, 2023, and I'm providing the next update on the Copia Center for Regional Self-Reliance that is in process here in Georgetown, Texas. Today, I'm going to cover the idea of a biolab, and in fact, I've changed the wording a little bit to be more specific. So it's not confused with something that could be nefarious. We're calling it a biomaterials lab instead now. So the Copia Center is a place that is focused on regional economic development with a particular lens of this vision of a fab city, which is a city, and we're looking at a region here that produces everything that it consumes. This is all your food, all your energy, all your consumer goods, all your buildings, all the things that exist within that geographic area. Um, and so the one of the main reasons why I think a biomaterials lab is an important aspect to this is because I believe in order to get close to that achieving that goal or to achieve that goal, we will be growing most of those materials. And some of those things will be grown using traditional farming methods and agricultural methods. But I believe that a good chunk of those materials will actually be coming from a lab, something that is synthesized from various inputs. The idea of using algae to capture carbon, and then growing that algae with that, and then taking that product of the algae and turning that into something else. And so this is why I think a biomaterials lab is really important to help achieve this vision and this goal of this project, to allow for that level of R&D. Now, one major difference that you'll see within in this facility that you would compared to what you might see in others is that most of these types of labs exist inside of research institutions. Which means if you don't have a PhD or are on your way to get a PhD, you don't get access. And I firmly believe in kind of the opposite of this, is that everybody should have access. Those who have more knowledge obviously will be more successful in implementing something or using a facility like that. But I believe everybody has some potential inside them to be able to come up with these new innovative ideas that will help us achieve this goal of producing everything that is consumed locally. And so we're going to be promoting access for everyone, and talking about kids as much as we're talking about adults. Um, and so there's some great partners already here in Georgetown that do similar related work and that have an interest in promoting access for education. And so I'm hoping to be able to get some good partnerships in place with them. But in the meantime, we're just going to kind of go off and build this vehicle on our own. Um, so that is why I think a biomaterials lab is a really important aspect to the project, because we're going to be growing those materials. And in the other side of the building, we'll have the fab lab. And so you'll be able to go into the lab to go build some new lab equipment that you can take into the biomaterials lab in order to convert your inputs, whatever they may be, into something of useful output, into a raw material, and then take it back into the fab lab and potentially go build a machine in there that can then take that raw material and turn that into a final product. An example that I keep throwing out there, which is purely just something out of my brain that does not have any relevance in reality today, but I hope it will someday, is imagine if you could take grass clippings and convert those grass clippings into a raw material that you can then put into a filament and put through a 3D printer, that you could then use to produce shoes or something like that. I don't know how to achieve this. I do think it is something that's possible, and I do think that example is powerful because it helps people understand what a biomaterials lab could do and what a true Fab City product lifecycle could look like. Um, so I do believe that there are people out there that could take those raw materials of those grass clippings and convert that into a usable raw material that we can process into our consumer goods, which is why I want to build the facility, provide the access, and give everybody that opportunity to go kind of dream big and create this change locally. That's it for kind of the biomaterials lab component of the project. And we're going to do another update next. Potentially we'll talk about the Mentor Studio aspect, or the media production aspect of the facility. But we're making some really good progress. We've got some new partners coming on board, getting some great introductions to those who are very influential regionally. I've synced up with some people in Houston that have a desire to do something similar, yet at a larger scale. So we'll see if we end up partnering with them or if I just end up supporting their project independent of this project. So just wanted to check in, provide that update, and every few days or so, I'm going to plan to check in again and talk about different aspects of the project in order to get it out of my head, but also help educate others that have an interest in collaborating with this in the future. Thank you again, Danny Beasley from the Copia Center for Regional Self-Reliance, based in Georgetown, Texas.